give me a second here to actually get the account up and running. I'm not sure I actually have this lined up with OBS properly right now. Let me look. But yeah, off stream, all I've done off stream is I did like 2 FP summons from like the daily summon, and I did a chunk of like the trash bullshit in Orleans, right? So just get that out of the way. But I haven't done anything other than that. Oh, and I leveled a few units a little bit, just to be more like level appropriate for Orleans. I think I leveled like Siegfried and stuff for funsies. But yeah, you all have not missed anything, and I don't think we've even picked, I don't think we've picked our free 5-star yet. I think we're still sitting on that. Alright, I have a feeling I'm going to need to resize. Yeah, I had a feeling our thing would be out of place. Oh, like right there. There we go, easy enough. Sometimes that's a lot harder than it needs to be. I'm not really sure what I want to pick. Let's check our free 5-star and see. And just a reminder for anyone that plays NA, if you do make a JP ult account, from today on, like forever, you can always get the free 5-star. There's no time limit. If you make a new account on JP and you beat Fuyuki, you get the free 5-star. It's just that simple, and it lasts forever. So, if this was my new main, right? Let's say I got banned and I had to start over, I would pick Mordred because I like Mordred a lot, and she's such a good AoE unit. She's so good for farming. She's so good for fights like corrupted Ushi and all that stuff. So I would definitely pick Mordred. But on this account, because I already have my main and everything else, I don't know what the fuck to pick. There is a part of me that wants to pick Tam just because it's fun. I don't even like Tam as a character, but she's actually pretty fun. Someone you don't use often. I agree, Ari. I don't have Tam on any of my accounts, and Tam is a legitimately fun unit. The only bad thing about Tam is she's art, and I'm not sure we're gonna really have a lot of art DPS on this account, and that would really suck. Lee. Could do Aussie, but I have him on other accounts, so I feel like that's kind of a waste. And we're doing Lantoria on the Herc account. I don't know, I'm kind of leaning towards Tam just because it's so abnormal to what we normally do. I don't know, I really got to think about this one. It's tough. I bet you a lot of people though are just like, yep, I'm gonna go make an account and pick Artoria and play through the game with Artoria, right? Because that's and good, right? That's good for the game. I remember so many people getting into it and being like, how do you get Artoria in this? Oh my god, this account has no mana prisms. Oh fuck. I wouldn't hate Tesla. I would not hate Tesla. Okay, it's such a new account. I'm actually gonna roll story some, unless I actually want to get Gwen. Although if I got Border Girl, I would be so fucking pissed off. I don't think I could handle it. But it'd be cool to get like Tristan or something. I never really used Tristan on any of my accounts. So if it was like, I know Tristan gets a solo rate up at some point. I feel like I can always show Tristan off though through the support list if I want to show off how good he is. Hey, there's Leo. I won't do too many summons early in my account's life. I just want to get a nice like backbone of units and CEs, and then I'll wait until I beat like much farther in the story so I can get a Asclepius or Bedivere, that kind of thing. But let's use our FP because this account has like nothing. Oh, that's good. That's good. He's such a good solid unit for just typical support, and then also for farming and then cycle stuff. So we're gonna like level him right away. Really, I think that's very good. And he's a taunt. It's just so good. Yeah, that's big. So a lot of people want me to level Gareth on this account just because it's different, but I really want to level like Q. I know I always level Q, but if we're doing Stheno stuff, you gotta level the divinity stuff. I think I'm setting a really bad example if I'm like, yeah, Stheno's fine, and then I don't level the divinity stuff, right? Like, I get it, Q's OP and I use them all the time, but it's a really bad example to be like, yeah, Stheno's good, guys, let me just not level the obvious divinity stuff to work with her, right? Like, that's really backwards. We could do Proto-Q instead, because that is different. He's also a lot worse. Yeah, I agree with Saber Nero in chat there. It's true, we could look to roll a different Lancer that's not... What are the options there, though? Because you need single target. I'm not kidding. I bet you there's no single target Lancer that's better than Q that is Divinity. Especially if you Grail Q. I don't think there is one. Q's that busted these days. Let's look, though. Maybe I'm just forgetting somebody. There's a bunch of Lancers these days. Alright, what are the options here? So for AoE, you've got plenty of stuff for AoE. You've got Super Romulus and Vertra, all that. But for single target, the hell do you even have? I mean, I guess kind of Canis, even though she is AoE, but she can be serviceable for single target. But even then, I think Q's better, especially for a really hard boss like Fluffy. I don't think does Brunhilde have Divinity because of Valkyrie's stuff? She does. So Brunhilde's comparable. I would say Brunhilde is comparable. Again, though, for a really hard boss like Fluffy, I think Q's still better. But you could make Brunhilde work. You can't. If you could pick her as your free 5-star, I would pick Brunhilde. I would. But I don't think you can pick her. Which, that's a shame, because that'd be pretty fun. I don't have Brunhilde on any account, and I don't think I'd ever roll on her, and that'd be... Taiga, though? Oh, God. I mean, Taiga's just so much worse than... And also, I have to get her. I would have no Lancer until Babylon, and then I'd have to get her, right? So I don't know about that. I might use Proto-Q in the meantime, because the thing is, this account has to beat Fluffy, and I'm telling you, if you're free-to-play, which this account is going to be free-to-play, if you want to beat Fluffy, you need to level Q. I don't think there's any substitute. I am not exaggerating. If you want to beat Fluffy and you want to do it of your own, you know, power, you don't want to use like blue cubes and stuff, I think you have to level Q. Unless you get lucky and you happen to pull in Kidu or something, then you don't have to, right? But if you want to beat Fluffy as a free-to-play, I mean, what else? Like, literally, what else are you going to use? I think it has to be Q. He's just too fucking broken. I guess your other option, because I don't think Taiga would work at all. I don't think Taiga would even get close. Even if she was grailed and all that, maybe if she was 120, maybe if Taiga was 120, you might be able to make that work. And you probably could use Taiga if you happen to have Merlin or something. Merlin is so good there. Now, as Eri just said, you know, you could use something like Ashe. There's plenty of other DPS that can be really good against Fluffy and that could be better than Q. Absolutely. They're just not free to play, and you're not necessarily going to get them. There's no guarantee that from this account, from now, from Orleans to Lost Belt 6, there is no guarantee that it is going to get any other DPS that's actually going to be really good for Fluffy. There's just no guarantee, and you can't summon a support, so the only one that you guarantee have access to that's really good for Fluffy is Q. That's it. That's the only one. I can't think of a single other one. The next best maybe is 100 Face. And that might work. That actually might work. I messed around with 100 Face a bit there, and she actually did do pretty well. But the best way to use 100 Face is to put 100 Face in the front, I think, and Q in the back, honestly. Now, what we could do, because we're probably not going to Zerg this account, we'll probably take it a bit slow. We could be on the lookout for summoning a DPS that we think could take the place of Q. But that just seems so shaky and unreliable. It's just, Q's good. That's the thing, Q's really good. He's the backbone of a lot of free-to-play stuff, because he's busted. But how about this? How about this? We'll take it a bit slow, we'll level Proto-Q, and if we start getting to the harder stuff and it's not looking like we're going to have any DPS that could take the place of Q, then we just level Q. Right? But in the meantime, we'll use Proto-Q. I think that's a fair... way to do this, because I can't even do Taiga right now because I can't get her until Babylonia. So does Mori's crit buff reject Fluffy's curse? It should. We could do Gareth, but I would use Gareth, and I would even Grail her if she had Divinity. Like, if I wasn't doing a Stheno gimmick, then I would just use Gareth, and you know, well, that wouldn't work for Fluffy, but I would use Gareth. But because we're doing the Stheno account, I'm obligated to level up Divinity stuff. Taiga does need a buff, I would say. Like, it's just, I feel like doing a Stheno gimmick is just, it really pushes us to use Q. It really does. Do we have Proto Q? Yes we do, okay. But I don't think it's that big of a deal, because it's not like you use a Lancer all the time. And sure, you can use a Lancer every time you have to play at neutral, and every time you fight an Archer, and every time you fight a Berserker. Q's one of the best options in all those scenarios. But we can just not do that, and we can focus more on Stheno stuff. So we're not going to even use a Lancer that often on this account. The other thing we could do is we could pick Enkidu as our free 5-star. Because that would then free us up to not use Q, even though Enkidu doesn't have Divinity. But I don't know, maybe if we see Brunhilde, we'll grab that. Although I don't think Brunhilde would work against Fluffy. I don't think that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. We got Herc on the very first summon that this account ever did. This account did one summon, and it got Herc. Okay, we're gonna do a story summon. Because we want to get some craft essences and stuff, and I'm okay with just doing story summon. Oh my god, I should have gone the other way. Gotta go around the wheel! Jesus, fuck it. I don't even like this new UI, to be honest. It's not great. Alright, what are we gonna get? Napoleon would be interesting. Because he's got a nice mixture of support. I actually like that. You can use him as a pretty powerful damage support while also doing some fun damage himself. I wouldn't hate Napoleon. Honestly, the only thing I have against Napoleon is his cannon is so cartoonishly large. I wish his weapon just didn't look so stupid, right? If it wasn't for that, I'd be a way bigger Napoleon fan. I like his voice actor, I like his design, you know, all that. I don't really have any big beef with Napoleon or anything. Well, that's good. We could use a jeweled sword. It's a nice thing to have at the start. We want Battle of Kinlawn. That's unironically very useful, even if you never solo. That's actually good early game. It's really only good early game, but it's something. Yeah, I figure there's a few people out there that haven't picked a 5-star yet. Because it's you have no time limit. No time limit, you can take your time. I doubt this account will level Hohenheim. I don't think we're going to do too much art stuff unless we pick Tam. Which is kind of why I'm not wanting to pick Tam, because I just don't think we're going to do that much art stuff on this account. But we'll see. We could always grail Robin Hood or something, because I've actually never done that. Robin is an option for Fluffy, I will say. Robin is a Fluffy killer, potentially. It's just bad that you have to poison him, because if you poison the boss does more damage, and believe me, you do not want the boss doing more damage. Although it would be unique for me to level Serenity. She's not quite good enough, and if she got an animation update, I'd be way more okay with it, but her animations kind of suck, so... Like, I don't want to just use things that are different just to be different. That's how you make a really shitty account, right? Yeah, her buff did make her quite a bit better. It's just the lack of survival doesn't make her... She's a great option to level on the side, but for your just backbone assassin, because she doesn't have a hard survival skill, it's not great. Like, it's almost generic, but like, it really is important when you're a new account like this, and I don't have Waver, I don't have any of that nonsense. It's really good for your DPS to have invulnerability, guts, or evade. And then also have a single target, you know, good NP and all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to justify Serenity because of that. Alright, didn't really get anything too crazy there. I mean, we obviously want to get these 3 stars, but none of the CEs really impressed me there. This is coming from someone that leveled Sanson. I'm trying to think, I don't even remember who my first assassin was. It probably was Sanson, actually. I probably did level him first. But pretty quickly, I used other things. And I remember, because Sanson was so bad, a lot of times when I needed an assassin DPS, I would, oh, double Medusa, though. I would summon a friend's, a stronger assassin, right? And then I remember I got Gramps pretty early on, and I'd use Gramps in my early days. Double love potion, yeah, that's not particularly useful. Because eventually you're going to get the Shinji CE, and the Shinji CE is just better than love potion. Okay, I'll take, yeah, triple. I'll take the jeweled sword though. And slap that on Mata Heart. Oh, damn! We're getting close to limit breaking jeweled sword already. That's actually a huge help. Fuck yeah. Oh, that's good. If we're gonna use Proto-Q. Hi, Shinji. Not a particularly good CE right there. Oh my god. Can we limit break it now? Okay. Feels rated up? What is going on? Rigged, apparently. Oh yeah, chat. There's the one. That's the Lancer, right? God. It's so bad. If he had Divinity, I might make it work somehow, but good lord. Please do it. Cairo really wants me to. I don't know. I know it'd be unique, and the thing is, here's the thing. It's not like I haven't used Baldi. I've used Baldi plenty. I have 2 max Baldis, and every time I use them for like typical team stuff, it's just awful. But maybe we do it just for, it's just so bad with a Stheno account. That's the main issue. The thing is, it's really dooming me to die to, it is true, his skills are so bad, you don't need to level them. The thing is, that's not a good positive to have, when you suck so much that your skills are so shitty that you don't need to level the skills up. Right? That's not a good positive to have. What I might do is maybe try to farm in this account a little bit more than I normally do, so I can level Proto-Q and Baldi, and then we use Baldi, but if I need to get bailed out, we can use Proto-Q, because Baldi is not a bailout unit, right? Like, Baldi is shit, so, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people want me to do something different and just show off how unreliable Baldi is, so. Pyramid is kind of dull though, like gameplay-wise. That's the main problem there. Alright, fine. We're gonna level Baldi. Oh my fucking god. I'm holding Eri and Cairo responsible for this. If we get stuck on Fluffy, it's your all's fault. Look at him getting a super success. So he's now higher level than like I wanted. Alright, let's see what we got. Yeah, we can limit break Jeweled Sword. That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. That's a huge help though. That is such a fucking help. Because that buys me time until an event comes out that has a 50% starting in PCE. Right? This is just a great, you know, stand-in. And this too, right? And until I get this limit broken. Because once this is limit broken, it's pretty much as good as what you get from an event, right? But there's really no telling when I'm going to limit break that one. So that's a super good hold me over. Yeah, honestly, those new CEs are quite good. And you'll probably limit break them with time. And so if you happen to miss things like Drunken Jolter, Golden Sumo, Aerial Drive, they're phenomenal stand-ins. And they have lower team costs, so they're actually meta sometimes, like straight up. Leyline is so good, it's just, you used to be able to get Leyline in regular summons, but you can't anymore. Okay, so we're about halfway through Orleans, so we definitely have some filler crap to get through here. Well, let's go with story summons, because I want that FP. Our Stheno... Oh, you know what we need to do? Hold up, before we do Orleans... Let's go get Stheno's third skill. That's the whole point of this account, and it'll actually be kind of hard for this account to do her strengthening quests right now. Oh, and I should do that too, 'cause it's a free summon ticket. Alright, so these people have actually accepted my friend invite. Like, they don't know me, they're not from the stream, any of that, so they're like totally legit here. I wish we had a Mordred. That's my preferred unit for doing this kind of thing. Hey, Mr. Isa, thank you for the gifted sub. I say you just resubbed, so. So far, we're gonna do all random, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that forever, just because it's bad for goofing off, right? When we're going through like Salem, right, and we want to get through all those boring trash stages, it's a lot more fun to like solo with chats units or make a team around this or that, and you can't really do that with randoms. And also, I really stand by this. If I was not a streamer, and so I don't have like all these people that want to add me and stuff, I would still join a Discord or something and then be like, so if I needed an Enkidu or whatever, and with a specific CE, I could ask around and find one, because it's easy to find people that are willing to do that. And so I don't think it's really unlegit, you know, to use your friends or your ult account or whatever. But for now, we'll just go pure randoms, a bit more, I don't know, normal that way. Especially for like these early stages, like what we're doing right now. Because this might actually be a bit of an issue here. I wish we had someone with Divinity, actually. Well, we don't have our third skill yet. That's actually what we're unlocking. So, this account is so garbage right now. Oh my god. I should really level something, but I don't want to over-level Orleans. We don't have a Battle of Kimlon yet. The assassins are the issue. We might be in for a bad time here. I guess we just go with this and hope Artoria carries our ass. Really wish we had Mordred, that'd be a lot better for this kind of thing. Yeah, the game doesn't really get that fun until, like, Camelot. Shadow Herc early, though, can actually be fun. Good opening hand. Do I just NP? I hate K-Scope when you do stuff like this, though, because it's so useless. You just whiff all the starting NP. Yeah, I guess I just NP. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of stage 3 Artoria. I so prefer Mordred. Get the cool armor. The thing is, K-Scope Artoria is really good if you're doing like waiver stuff, because you just turn one NP, then you get her overcharge her battery, then waiver, then you NP again. Like, it's completely, you know, viable farming. And it scales really well with time and everything, so that's why a lot of people do that. Mordred's armor has red on it. I need to make a support list like you did, Red, but for green. That's hard though, because there's not a lot of green on art out there. But I know some that I know some clever ones I could do that would make a pretty cool support list. Okay, Artoria having a bad time right now. I'm hoping she can, like, somehow kill this, but she's using K-Scope, so probably not. This is not ideal. And of course the deck shuffles and we don't get any Artoria cards. Siegfried got this. You know, his stage 1 doesn't actually look that bad. It really doesn't. But I do prefer his stage 2, but it's kind of cool. It's the lack of the armored gauntlets that I really miss. Do I... Yeah, I think I'm gonna invulnerability Artoria in case the NP hits her. I should have cast this earlier. He could have had his NP actually, potentially. Try to kill this thing before he gets its NP. Well, that was not Artoria. We can use Siegfried's crappy NP here. He doesn't have his upgrade quest, doesn't have his third skill, right? A whole lot holding him back there. But he can overcharge Artoria. Dude, Saber Nero, I had so much fun doing the Shadow Hurt fight on my Hurt account because we used all low levels. So we had to come up with a pretty... We actually had to work. I remember we had to actually work for that stage because we summoned a support that was really weak. And I remember we had to really push our luck to beat it. This did not go well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gate can store people. There's really no reason that it couldn't, so... And like, Gil's hand can go inside of it, so... Could just Buster Chain? The issue is the Assassin's, not the Lancer. I'm still gonna overcharge it. Is humanity's first barber inside of Gate of Babylon? Is that who does Gil's hair? I mean, it would explain a few things. That was not impressive damage. Dude's level 36, doesn't have his NP upgrade, and doesn't have his Buster up. Okay, never mind, we just killed everything. Doesn't even matter. Better than 100 Angra. I mean, not necessarily, it depends. Why? Look at this. Why is it this? This just gives you the privilege of having a third skill. I mean, it's fucking stupid. I really wish we had a better Saber to use. I don't want to use Muramasa at all. And I don't really like Artoria, and it's stage 3, and she has K-Scope. Like, big yikes. Big yikes. Could look for a Berserker to carry us, but that's not wise. I think we don't NP the first wave. Yeah, we get that SQ though. I just don't understand why they don't give you your third skill automatically now. I don't know why FGO is so against like retroactively improving the game. They obviously realize having to unlock your third skill is fucking stupid, and that's why they don't do it anymore. But then they don't do it automatically for the past units. It's just dumb, and I swear it's because they literally can't think through problems. They're terrible at problem solving. They're like, oh, but then people are going to complain that they can't get the free SQ. Easy fix is you just let them do the quest if they want to, but you don't need to do it to unlock the third skill. I mean, that's not complicated. Um,
ではこれでいいか。
お任せよ。いいですね。
I really wish she just had a regular CE. Like, there's just no point to K-scope here.
まだです、まさか。
いいだろう。
はい、お任せよ。
であ
せい。切り上げる。
貫いたか。
A little bit of damage there. Well, I guess same thing, just put it on Artoria, because fuck the rest of them.
翔太さん。頑張ります。いいですね。はい。やー。やー。やー。
I doubt we'll... the interior of Gate of Babylon is probably like some interdimensional, like, space bullshit, right? Because it literally acquires things from the future, so I don't think they're ever gonna show the inside of it. I would like for a master to ask him, though, and to see how the writers would have him respond. I think that'd be kind of funny. Alright. I think we Charisma, but we don't use the other one.
いいだろう。
ええ、お任せよ。この明かりは星の希望。死を照らす命の証。見るがいい。
The sound effects are so shitty on Excalibur. They don't work very well because my old account's on emulator and the sound effects are worse on there. But even on my phone, it's like, it just, I really think they made the sound effects kind of crap for Excalibur. It's really disappointing. Very little impact. I think her animation update's really good, except her NP. It's just not. It's just eh. To the Brave Chain. We actually need to get a move on here though, because we're about to NP again. Please kill. There we go. I know, and the pose swapping sucks. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. Look how glitchy that is when she steps forward. Dude, that is so bad. What? Like, I don't understand. Like, why didn't they notice how bad that looked? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's not just this thing where it goes back and forth. It's like when she takes a step forward and backwards, it switches between the two stances really rapidly, and it just looks shitty. You can probably see it right here. Okay, no, I didn't do it right there. Okay, well, let's fire everything. I like how for Stheno's third skill unlock, they made a stage where Stheno is completely useless. None of these things are charmable, and none of them are riders. And none of them have like a gimmick that involves having buffs that you'd want to remove or anything. It's like, although she didn't have that back then. Kind of on death's door here. Just to be safe. Alright, we got him. We're gonna be here for a while. Like, these stages are just such a slog. I hate the third skill unlock stages. I need to do like these off stream all the time. We'll at least do Stheno's on stream because it's Stheno, but oh my god. Old FGO is so bad, dude. What were they thinking? And like, I just don't understand why they put zero effort into making the past content better. I don't get it. I am totally okay with using Drake here. I am not okay with how bad that CE is, but, and the other one has, really bad skill ranks. Kind of lose-lose either way. Oh man, we're getting QP, boys. Have I leveled Ushi at all? Not that that would be particularly applicable right now. Just solo. It's better. The rider slot in this game makes me sad indeed.
この戦いが
Oh.
平和へつながることを祈って
Hi, guy.
では行くぞいいでしょう
This guy's got the passive unlocked for her second skill. Hasn't leveled it yet.
追い込むよ
So, stage 3 Drake is a little much. She has a coat on her coat. I don't know, it's a bit over the top for me. I mean, I don't mind it and the concept's fine. I like it more than her stage 1, I guess. But I prefer her stage 2, it's just kind of normal pirate look. The coat on a coat thing is always a bit much. Okay, guess I'll use this. Maybe we get an extra turn out of George.
了解で
Seems
す
very unlikely though.
はいお任せを
任せな
かけろレイヤーせい
よそ見してんじゃないよ
Get his MP pretty quick. Okay, game. I actually hope he quick charges into his NP right here. That way he loses his NP gauge.
まだまだたんまりくらいなよそ見してんじゃないよ
Nope.
マスター
Alright, well, time to battery,
シールド
Drake.
発します任せなはいいいね
Maybe I should have golden ruled there just to make sure I got my NP, but it should be fine.
よそ見してんじゃないよよそ見してんじゃないよ倍返しさ
Nope, not fine. Not fine. Goodbye, Mash. There we go.
いいじゃないかかかってきなしけた話はお断りさ
What will our damage be?
ここがはいよ任せな
Kinda fitting music.
野郎ども時間だよ恒例のファイルドハントの始まりだ
Damn. That ain't bad. Considering her craft essence does literally nothing, I'd say that's pretty good. I missed that voice line. Also, the Mystico is not leveled up, so... Nice damage, nerd. Look at all these stars. That's a really nice gameplay loop. It's a shame that this content's so boring that it doesn't matter.
いいはいよ任せな
Look, she gets the MP again.
よそ見してんじゃないよまだまだたんまりくらい攻撃よーいもう頭も足りなかったね
I have no idea why she says strike Caliburn. It makes literally no sense, and I don't remember anything in her character material or Fates Tonight or anything like that for that, so I don't get it. I don't get it. I think they're just like trying to include more of Artoria's stuff, but I don't think there's any real reason. Feels bad, Saber Nero. I mean, Nero's a lot better in Fate Extra. It's after Extra that they kind of fucked up the character there. Alright, I think it's Berserker time. We're gonna have to be careful, though. Morgan's a pretty good carry, I would say. Busting out the Canis beats.
玉座の
Okay, I guess, do I taunt? Yeah, I guess we have to. You're not getting me, chat, not today. I should have killed the 9k one. Well, she might finish that off. Yeah, she got it. She's level 100 for God's sakes. No, Veil! Could you guys attack George, please? I would like his taunt not to go to waste. Does anyone else think that the support list is actually bad for this game and for the new players? I really think it is, and let me explain. I don't think there's anything wrong with the support list for like challenge quests, the relevant main story, events, all that's fine, but it is not a good gameplay experience. It's just not. Like, you know, your servants are gonna be like level 30 and shit, and then you're always summoning level 100s. It just feels so wonky, and it feels like cheating, and it feels boring and easy, and it does not point you in the right direction of like leveling your own stuff, or even figuring out what you need to level, right? I think the early game of FGO just needs to be changed so much. Like, I just think it needs to be changed so much. There's two big things that I would do. Obviously, like, the early game needs to be revamped, a lot of the filler needs to be taken out. You know, it needs to be harder. They need to make sure that they're giving you a lot of skill gems and stuff from completing stages and make it just smoother like that. So just, you know, revamp the early game, obviously. But then what I would do is I would massively incentivize using story supports in 1.0. And I mean massively. So like, you don't force people, allow them to summon their friends if they want to. And so if they get stuck and stuff, but give them a huge incentive to use story support so they're not getting carried and they have to actually figure shit out for themselves. That way, when they get to the point where the game is harder, they're not just getting crushed. And I think a good thing you could do is you could give a skill gem for using a story support. You could give, you know, way more QP and FP. You could give a random bronze mat. There's a lot of ways to accomplish it, and I think that would make. I think the game needs that, because you gotta understand, when people were doing, like when the game first came out, not on NA, because NA is different, because NA had a lot of quality of life updates from the beginning, but on JP, when they made Oceanus, the average player on your support list wasn't level 70, 80, 90, or 100. That wasn't a thing. So like the content was like scaled for that with how the average player was back then. But the average players don't like that anymore. Everything on their support list is going to be super maxed. You got the follow system, you got a free 5-star, you get a free max ascension, they give out way more gold XP now, you've got the dailies, you've got the upgraded FP summon. It's just, the game is not scaled properly anymore. And the thing is, it's important. I think some people don't understand this, but it's important for your content to be properly balanced versus how players actually play the game and what they're actually doing. And it's just not anymore, and it makes the game look like a boring joke. And I know for a fact that this has caused countless new players to quit the game. And because it's just dull, and it's just, it makes them think the whole game is going to be like this. And that's not good. That's not good at all. Of course not. If I was in charge of FGO, it'd be one of my highest priorities to make the new player experience much better. More engaging, more interesting, more reflective of what the game is actually played like at in-game. You know, but be more generous with also getting people up to snuff and that kind of stuff. And just making the UI better. That would be my top fucking priority. Like, absolutely. I think it's very bad for the game. Just how shitty the early game is, and how boring it is, how much filler there is, how you're constantly summoning 90s and 100s and you can't even help it. And that's just so out of balance with what you're actually doing. It's just, none of that's good. None of that is good. And I've seen this. I've seen people on Twitter complain about this when they finally get to Camelot and Babylonia and Epic of Remnant and stuff, and they've been getting carried this whole time. And now that they can't get carried, but they don't know how to level their own servants, and they don't know what's worth doing, they think the game is just like, oh, you know, I need to have, the only way I could beat this content is if I had a bunch of servants like what I'm summoning for my support list. Right, it's like all these silvers are useless, right? And if you don't whale to get a bunch of golds that are really high MP rank and stuff, you know, this game's just impossible. I've seen that. They think you gotta beat Gwen by just throwing a bunch of golds at it and stuff. And that's what they're conditioned to think. You know, you don't have this level 100, you know, MP4 Morgan or whatever, right? So it's just, it conditions people to think it's super, you know, whale or die. Which it's not, you know, you absolutely can beat Dwayne totally free to play in a completely reasonable way. And not just Gwen, all the harder stuff, you know, beyond him. Honestly, if Nero stayed like she was in Fate Extra, right, or they developed it seriously from there, I don't think she'd be super high on my list, but she'd be much higher. Basically, what I would say is, you know, good character development and, you know, interesting stuff about like human selfishness and all that. But then I hate her voice, and you know, not my kind of character, right? And so she'd be kind of, you know, in the middle, right? Average, maybe just below average. But because the completely butchered her character, and then she still has all those other negative traits for me, then she don't do so good. Like, extra Nero was an actual character. Current Nero is a meme. Well, can I just fire everything? I don't think I have to be all that practical here, to be honest. Yeah, that crit spread was pretty shit. Bodoka's had a bad time in FGO. Which stage is this for her? I can never keep track with Morgan. Pretty over the top with the halberd there, 3. I don't think I would use this one because of the halberd. I gotta look at her other. Literally, whichever one has the best weapon is probably the one I would go with. Let me look this up here. Probably stage 2. Yeah, stage 2 is the only one that looks even remotely reasonable. Stage 1 looks so dorky, like that's not, like that looks so dumb, and then stage 3's halberd is like way over the top. So I would go with stage 2, definitely. This fucking music. This would be very, I should have played this for Fluffy. I'm such an idiot. If I ever make another Fluffy video, I'm doing that. If we get story replay and I can fight Fluffy again, and I fix up my team, because I want to do that anyway, I'm 100% using this song. I have no idea why I did not do that. I have missed a golden opportunity. Alright, she's got this. I would prefer Guts not to go off this turn to be safe, but we're still fine. Little worried this guy has NP drain, but I think I kill him next turn without my NP. Random bullshit crit. Imagine if he had shirt. He drained my entire NP bar. Well, that's not the best feeling I've ever had. Good thing we got him so low on health, so it doesn't matter. It's a pretty cool extra attack. Don't really need Demon Hearts too much on this account. Last stage, here we go. It's almost over. Yeah, we can use Gil here, and this one's actually got a proper CE, although this one's NP2. Not as good of a CE, but it's still good. That one's 96. What about passives? We'll do this one. Yeah, it is funny that he's got the Gil CE on Gil.
これでどう
But it's a decent Buster CE anyway. Terrible opening hand though. I'm gonna use this right away. Fuck. I gotta get the ball rolling here. Let's murder Mev first.
はい了解です
She asked for it. I need to use my level 100 Gil more often. He's awesome. I just don't use him a lot because I don't use 5 stars a lot. But I kind of regret not using Gil for more videos because, you know, when you want to murder OP shit, it's pretty fun to do that with Gil. All of Gil's cards are in the third hand. Oh man, you know what?
シールドエフェクト発します
I don't know if that was worth it at all, but
できます
水郷よね
ここだ
I heard a crit in there. Let's go NP game. Oh man, extra attack's awesome.
まだですまだでマスター
Well, I can delete Nero very easily, so I guess I do that. Although she does the least damage to us. She's also closer to getting her NP. You know what? I got a 100% crit though. Let's take out the trap. Take out the garbage! Boy, I'm pissing people off now. I think Poi Poi's even here. Toxic streamer. I just do not care for the trap at all. Not as bad though in the actual APOC book. It's just really bad outside of that. Okay, I guess stars?
水郷よ
Like the 90% crit could be worth it for Star Gen here. Not really.
風をくれてやる思い上がったなまあいいだたわけ
28. I didn't appreciate that. I'm sorry, Poi Poi, but you know. I actually have taste! I mean, what? Okay. I could overcharge here to get more AID damage, but that doesn't seem, I'm so toxic today.
勝ち目がない
I'll blame Cairo for this. Bad influence. Yeah, I don't think we need our third skill later.
ことがなぜわか
They'll get the overcharge just cause.
宝物庫の鍵を開けてやろうくだら水郷よね
Alright, will they live? I get it, Uriel. What? Okay, what? It's Stheno Strengthening Quest. You get Uriel and Medusa. That makes sense, but then why is Siegfried there? That is just so random. Well, Siegfried barely lived, and now he's super dead.
そこだ
Oof.
思い上がったなまあいいだたわけ
Dragons are just big snakes?
無念はない
I don't know about that. Maybe in Lost Bolt 4.
安心せずして何が王か
Buster is dead though, guys. Absolutely garbage. Get those George coins. That drop was so useless. We got a gold saber statue. Fuck off. That's such garbage. Alright, I think that's Stheno's third skill. Yeah, it is. Thank God. And then that... What is that? Is that her NP upgrade? Is that all? If I can get every buff for her, I should just do that now. Is that her last buff? I think it is. So I guess we just grab this real quick. At least it's only 3, so it shouldn't be too bad. I do not... Okay, we are totally... Semiramis is bailing me out here. Did not care for those other 2 assassins at all. So we're gonna, though, intentionally not... We're not gonna give Stheno any foe items, and we're not gonna max level her for a while, because that kind of makes up for her being a bit higher level than she should be. Because we used our free ascension on her because we wanted to get her 3rd skill, because it's more fun having the whole divinity nonsense. Hanging out on the beach here. I do not understand why the Saber Daily takes place on a fucking beach. And you fight Artoria, right? Like, in regular Artoria, not like summer Artoria or anything. I don't get it. Yeah, if we're gonna do the Stheno account, I wanted to get her 3rd skill for the divinity buff right away. And so I just use the free ascension on her, and then we get it right off the bat. And then we'll just keep her level down as best as possible, and then not give her foe items. Probably until, like, I don't know, London or something. You probably, stop handing, especially America. It's about America, then we can definitely just do whatever. Can she kill here? Semiramis is not a unit I see used often, which is unfortunate because she's pretty unique. And she's got some fun options gameplay-wise. She's not OP by any means, though, and I feel like the player base always just seeks out the OP stuff, so... It'd be pretty hard to get NP5 Stheno on this account because she doesn't ever get rated up, so... And she just doesn't really need to have a high NP rank either, so I'm not gonna worry about that, really. You know, we happen to get spooked by her, great. But she... Okay, that was a pretty shitty turn. Thanks, game. Didn't hit mash at all and gave us Buster down. Well, that shade of green, though, is really good. I always hype that. Absolutely excellent. I don't want to do GSSR. I want to keep it free to play. Besides, I don't really want to give DW any money right now because I want them to get their shit together. Yeah, that's true. NP2 would be good. If they do I have triple... Could you hit the fucking eggplant, please? Or, I don't know, debuff the eggplant. Could you stop debuffing the shit out of the goddamn solo unit? God damn. What was I saying? Yeah, if they do a free 4-star ticket again, we'll pick Stheno so we can get the... That our Buster card is pathetic. That did nothing. Anyway, so we can get Stheno to get to 200% overcharge so drains don't wreck us as much, because that really can be a thing. There are absolutely our boss fights, so that will wreck the shit out of you. Fluffy's actually one of them. And there's a variety out there, so yeah, I'll try to get it at some point. But beyond NP2, it's not really a big deal. How is Mash taking so little damage? Like, what is going on? One turn on that Buster, so I think I'll wait one turn to use my NP. And hopefully Mash dies. Get Guadia over here. Can we just reenact the Solomon Singularity real quick? They hear me talking. They hear me talking, dude. I can't win today. Just can't. I can't have it. Oh right, I don't have enough stars. Well, didn't really plan that one. This is not going to do as much damage as I would like. The only thing I don't like about Semiramis' design is the spikes in her hands. That's just going a little far for me. and then they're like tethered together. So much like Beowulf, she's incapable of T-posing on her enemies, which is just unbelievably impractical. I mean, if you can't T-pose on your enemies when you defeat them, I don't know what the point is, right? I don't know what the fucking point is. Like, what a terrible idea. See, that would have been a lot better on the previous turn. We would have, like, you know, won. Yeah, her, the other, which one is it? Is that stage 2? Where her hair is, like, bigger than she is? That's pretty messed up. It's both? I mean, she has a lot of hair in all of her ascensions, but, I think it's the second one is definitely worse. Yeah, stage 1 is the only stage of hers that I would use. That song was from... Fuck, I don't remember what... It's from like a Chrono Trigger fan album or something. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I actually can't see it in front of me right now. I have it shuffling. Nash never died. How did Semiramis took so much damage? What the fuck, dude? The things we put up with. Trying to get my NP upgrade here. Okay, we're back to sabers again, I guess. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do that. We at least have our third skill at rank 1, but that absolutely was not Nash's theme. That's not even similar, to be honest. I'll even get Nash's thing here. Not that we have Nash on the stage right now, but alright, what are we doing here? 3 waves. Oh joy. I need to get Bond and Stheno so we can get our passives. It's actually gonna be really useful for her. I guess that's another. Oh fuck! I do need to get NP ranks on Stheno then because I need our fucking coins. God, this game. I hate this new system, dude. Fuck off, that's so annoying. Hopefully they just give out the generic ones and we can do it that way, but we don't know how they're gonna do that. Okay, this is Nash's theme right now. This is just Nash's theme, like straight up. It's from the first movie. Yeah, it's her last name. It's like a pretty good song though. I think it's hard to make, I think, a song that fits the kind of character that Nash is, and it's like it's just kind of hard to do that musically. But I think they did a pretty good job with it. So. Surprised they haven't used it more. What do I do here? Starchin. They should have at least let you pick one servant to get a bunch of coins for. That way, Ongra fans aren't fucked over. Like, it's... Okay, here's the thing. I really do resent the fact that, like, whales get to have Ku's passives for Fluffy and I don't. Like, that's fucking stupid. But you know what's even stupider? Is the fact that, like, if you're an Ongra fan, it doesn't matter if you're a whale or not, you just can't do anything. Right? And if you're, like, a fan of Mori or Izo, you can't do anything. Right? It doesn't matter, like, if he's gold or not, you're just fucked, right? You could be willing to spend all the money, and you can, right now, you can not get Izo coins. You can't. You know, technically, Ongra fans could, like, roll, I mean, oh my god, it's so inefficient. You could Leviathan to get rare prisms from summoning, and then use those rare prisms to get FP to try to get Ongra copies. But I mean, you'd have to spend like tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it would just be insane money. That's absolutely not reasonable. I mean, like Leviathan isn't even like enough, right? Like it's completely absurd. But I really do resent that whales get to have like fucking coups passives for Fluffy and like the next challenge quest or whatever, and I don't. When I've got level 100 coup, taking him to 120, got him at bond 14, right? Like, it's bullshit, right? It's super obnoxious. Where if you're a whale, you can just roll story or whatever, or roll for Vinch, like rolling for MP5 Vinch, you'll get a bunch of copies of coup that way, and then there you go, right? Like, it's nonsense. But yeah, it's even worse for Izo and Mori, because whale or not whale, you just can't do anything. I really don't know what they were thinking with that one. Now imagine if we had Divinity here. Alright, she gives the Divinity buff to herself, which is actually pretty good. The dream is we don't kill the middle one. I would say a Leviathan is above a Kraken. Leviathan is a biblical monster, right? And it's pretty nuts. So I would say a Leviathan is way ahead of a Kraken, to be honest. I don't know what you would say beyond Leviathan, really. The ocean. Become the ocean, right? That's like the best thing I can think of. Either that or like Moby Dick, just because even though Moby Dick is no Leviathan, Moby Dick is the whale. It is the whale, right? Cthulhu. Yeah, I guess Cthulhu. Poseidon. I like Poseidon a lot because people will get that reference so easily. I like that. I'm stealing that. That's really good. I'll save that if I ever have to reference just unbelievable amounts of whaling. That's really good. Cthulhu's good too because Cthulhu sleeps at the bottom of the sea and everything. That's a weirder reference, and I like Poseidon better. I think that's fucking great. Okay, well, we got our MP back, no problem, but we also didn't kill a damn thing, so that's kind of unfortunate. I feel like we need Super Mario Sunshine music right now with the background. Let's make stars. Do we need stars? Who doesn't need stars? I don't think that's oddly specific at all. Why would that be oddly specific? Have you not... Go Google Super Mario Sunshine and then look at the background here. Like... Are you kidding me? Like, it's pretty normal. Like a normal ass reference here. Well, I'm sorry, Hector. I think you're about to have a bad time. We might just be NP1, but we got plenty of buffs here. Okay, well, one of these days, we can need to level our skill ranks. I think she has the defense down inherently, right? It's the buff removal that she gains. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Stheno sprite is fine. They did a good job on that. That's not one of the shitty animation updates. Although, to be fair, some of that's because Stheno doesn't need to move around a lot, but, we take what we can get. Boudica's extra attack is, like, embarrassing, dude. It's so bad. Alright, I think we got one more stage to do here, and then we've done all of the goddamn Stheno stages that we need to do. Guess that's one advantage of using Baldi. He's never been buffed! And he's not an old unit, so he has his third skill inherently. Imagine basic bitch game design. Statue of Boudica, indeed. Super Mario Sunshine's an awesome platformer. It's one of my favorite 3D platformers. Actually, it's probably my favorite 3D platformer. Now, if we actually gave Stheno foe items and got her to 80 instead of 70, she'd actually be fucking these mobs up pretty good. And you get the passive too. So crazy that Stheno is one of the only units that has like a proper passive for her counter class. Like no strings attached. With like Jekyll and Hyde, there's kind of strings attached. I hope someday they put in the centaur that killed Canis, because they actually mention him in Lost Belt 5, but I have a feeling they're never gonna mention him again, but I would love it if they would add that. It's pretty badass, honestly. It's like, huh, my weapons don't work. Let me just take a tree and smash this person all the way into the underworld, right? Like, that's a pretty good feat for an antagonist there, if you will. Alright, that charm really worked out because they couldn't do any debuffs. Tiamat's kid right there. I'm pretty sure that's actually the strongest of Tiamat's kids. It's actually supposed to be pretty powerful lore-wise. Doesn't do a whole lot in APOC, unfortunately. A bit better in the book because they like explain it better, but that's generally the case. Alright, we actually have enough stars this time. The synergy though, too bad our skill rank is at 1, so it's only a 20% attack up instead of 40, but I'll take what we can get. This should be pretty good, all with a 1/1/1 Stheno. Honestly, I could see them making that centaur guy. I forget his name, but he does have one. But I could see them making him a lancer. That makes sense. Okay, it's just Brave Chain. So if Stheno's skill was ranked up, we would have killed Alexandra here. Because the NP turn would have done way more damage, and then that turn would have done more damage, so he'd definitely be dead. Look at this lion thing having, like, team support. What is that? Why did that one have to crit? Watch this one not crit. Yep, of course. Damn it, game. Yeah, I remember it starting with an L. That sounds right. Hey, Herd Blurg. Thank you for the resub, man. Yeah, basically what happens is, the gods become unhappy with Chaos because he, like, doesn't care about the gods anymore and is, like, wanting his people to worship him instead of them. And so I think it's Zeus, I think, like, basically contracts the centaurs to kill Chaos. But Chaos is still favored by Poseidon and cannot be harmed by weapons, so the centaurs aren't able to do anything. But then there's a centaur hero that's just like, I don't need any weapons, and just rips a tree out of the ground and just... This is such a thing in old legends, by the way. I mean, this is such a thing in old legends. I don't mean Greek mythology, I just mean like ancient humanity. We just had a thing for this. It's really hard to describe. We had like a boner for like stupid wordplay. Like, you know in Lord of the Rings, the movie, where the what's his name? The Witch King is like, you know, no man can slay me. And then what's her face is like, I'm no man, right? Old legends have such a thing for that. They're like these weird word technicalities. They're so about that. I have no idea why. It's like they're trying to teach people to be careful with your words or something. I don't even know. But they do this all the time where like someone's blessed and they can't be harmed by weapons. Like, oh, this isn't a weapon, it's a tree. They basically have the mindset of a teenager, right? Where like, your parent is like, you better get the car back, by 8, and what the net was, you be, back in the home by 8, and they come back and drop the car off, and then just like run off back, out on foot, to like the drugstore or whatever. It's like that. You're not clever, right? It's like, that's old legends, right? There's so much, you can see that in the Epic of Gilgamesh, you can see that in loads of Greek mythology, you can see it in a lot of Norse mythology, just like this weird logic with that kind of stuff. X with the emote there. Pretty much how Kanios died. I tell you, Canis' legends are weird. I don't, like the version where they get reborn as a phoenix, it's like, why though? It has nothing to do with anything. I literally don't get it. And like sometimes after getting blasted into the underworld, Kanios turns back into Canis. Sometimes they're never heard of from again. Sometimes they're reborn as a phoenix. It's like, can someone tell me what the moral of the story is? The only moral of the story I can see in any of Canis' stories is just the hubris one, right? The one after the Poseidon stuff where like kind of denies the gods and gets really kind of cocky as a king, and flies too close to the sun and gets smacked by the centaurs. But that's the only like moral of the story I can get out of any of the stories with Canis. It's so like all over the place. I really don't get it. Become Burb? Yeah, that's that. There we go. That's the goal. Return to Burb. Never mind monkey. Okay, Stheno is done, and we never have to do any more stupid ass quests for that again. Part of me wants to grab Atlas right now, but I feel like I can do that off stream. Let's do this real quick because this is like a giant nothing burger. Where's Ushi? We need to actually level Ushi. I want to do this while the summon ticket's available. No reason to miss it. The thing is, a lot of the stories, Canius doesn't really care about Poseidon. Like, how much that matters varies. And, like, they don't really even reference it. Like, for real, a lot of the stories with Canius don't even reference any of the older stuff. But then, like, I know there's something. I keep thinking it's in the Iliad or the Odyssey. I gotta read those again. I know there is something that references Canis. And it has something to do with, like, wanting to be a hero and turning into a man again and all that. Like, there's somebody uses that as an example to either Odysseus or Achilles. I don't remember why, and I don't remember what the fuck they're talking about, but I know that's referenced at some point. And then I know at some other time there's something to do with the underworld and with them being there again as Canis, but I don't remember what the fucking point of that was. So there's some morals of the story in there somewhere, but I don't think any of them fucking matter, really. It's just chaotic tosh, really. I know there's that one in like the earlier story that someone's talking about in my other stream, but that's not even the thing. I know they're referenced in some way with Achilles or something. I'm almost positive. Like, I think someone is like advising Achilles and using Canis as an example. I don't remember why though. Yeah, Venture's first stage is actually pretty cool. There's some fun nonsense with her attacks. I don't know if we'll ever get her extra attack in here though. I don't really care for her other two stages though. The third one's just weird, and the second one is just also weird. Oh, well, Stheno got in a brave chain. I don't know why I didn't taunt with George. The best non-divine servants of each class? I would definitely say Enkidu for Lancer. I agree with that one. I don't know about... Gwen's OP as fuck if there's no plot armor. I definitely agree with that. I think plot armor nerfs him so much it's insane. But let me think about that. There's a lot of sabers out there that don't have divinity. Because there's Zigguard. Zigguard's no slouch. I will say though, Gwaine is pretty fucking bananas. What else is there? There's probably a serious version of Karna out there. No, wait, no, he has Divinity. What am I talking about? I would say it's either Sigurd or Gwaine. Sigurd really is scary. But yeah, it might be Gwaine. If there's no plot armor involved, Gwaine is some bullshit. Wait, Sigurd's divine? I guess that does make sense, actually. Yeah, Sigurd is divine. Fuck. Well, never mind. Cersei not being divine is so stupid. We are doing unnecessary damage here just cause. Okay, unless there's something I'm really forgetting, then I probably do have to agree that it's Gwaine. I don't know though. What about Richard though? I know his toolkit's not completely finished. They haven't said everything in Richard's toolkit, but Richard's pretty nuts. Kojiro is we don't really know what Saber Kojiro. He's basically Assassin Kojiro, but it's just Saber, and his stats are so low. There's no. I mean, Gwaine could beat like 100 Kojiros. I'm not kidding. You could have an army of Saber Kojiros, and Gwaine would kill all of them with his NP. Like, Kojiro's awesome, and Kojiro, I would agree, is the most skilled Saber, like, hands down, but he's not the most powerful. You know, skill and power is not the same thing. Kojiro is ultimately a very weak character, because he's not a heroic spirit, and he doesn't have a noble phantasm and all that. He's very impressive, but, yeah, I don't know, I think Richard is a pretty good contender for keeping up with Gwaine. I mean, obviously, it's not, like I said, it's not really fair, because he's not finished yet, but, Arthur's really strong. Arthur really is strong. And in the right context, he could beat Gwaine, but I would say more times than not, Gwaine would beat Arthur and Artoria just because his stats are just so high. If there's no, like with plot armor, they'll have Arthur or Artoria win. Without plot armor, I just don't see how it's even possible. Gwaine's stats are really high, and then they're times by 3. And then he has insanely good skills. Like, I don't see how on earth you beat that, and like head on. And he's so fast, he can get to you really quickly, and he's so strong and everything, like, it's just bullshit. So Gwaine's definitely, I think Gwaine and Richard the Lionheart, I think are the two best Sabers without Divinity, if there's no plot armor involved. There's definitely some other good ones out there, though, and there's a lot of strong Sabers. Like, there's a lot of options there. Let's see, what about Archer? No Divinity Archer. I think Tesla's up there off the top of my head. I think Tesla's way up there. Right now, what I'm thinking, Tesla is absolutely the strongest. Most things that give him a run for his money absolutely have Divinity. Yeah, I think it's Tesla. Am I forgetting something? I can't think of... Yagyu's good, but there's no world where Yagyu's better than Gwaine or Richard. I mean, Yagyu really is good. He's so skilled and everything, but he just doesn't really have like OP abilities like Gwaine does and stuff. Yeah, I think it's absolutely Tesla. Tesla could beat Fujito and Billy at the same time. Tesla literally... Do I have to explain? I picked Tesla? Yeah, I'm not surprised with that. Do I have to explain why Tesla's so OP? He's got literally basically unlimited mana because he can just gather mana from the environment. He can gain mana by absorbing his enemy's attacks. So he can defend himself from his opponent's attacks and gain mana from them. He has an EX rank offensive noble phantasm that is just said to be, crazy powerful. It can also be used as an EX defensive noble phantasm so he can defend himself from crazy powerful attacks. You can summon lightning fucking everywhere, and he can absorb enemies' attacks if they're made out of mana, magic, or light, and a few other things. That to basically be like non-solid, but he can just absorb their attacks and like nullify them. Like, he is ludicrously powerful, and he's got that voyage, what the fuck is it, Pioneer of the Stars, like, and he's got a super high rank and everything. He is super good. Like, the only bad thing with Tesla is his stats aren't super high because he's a more modern servant. But, yeah, I can't think of an archer that... obviously Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh has Divinity. So for non-Divinity, I think, yeah, Tesla's the strongest. But I can't think of anybody that lacks Divinity that can keep up. Because I can think of plenty of things that have Divinity that can keep up, of course. Moriarty's up there, but I don't... canonical Moriarty is not normally fused with that, that German Phantom. So he's not as strong. And even then, he's just not as strong as Tesla. Just absolutely not. He takes so much prep time for his NP and everything. Like, there's just no way. I really can't think of anything that doesn't have Divinity that keeps up with Tesla. Orion, wait, he has divinity too, doesn't he? I'd say if when he's in his grand state, but I mean anybody in their grand state. Yeah, he's got blessing from Poseidon, which is basically divinity. So, and honestly, outside of his grand state, I think Tesla would beat Orion. Now, if Orion's in his grand state, then maybe not. But Napoleon is good, but his NP is absolutely not on par with Tesla's, and he doesn't have a good way. I haven't read Napoleon's character material in a while, but off memory, I don't think he has any kind of abilities or noble phantasms that can defend him against an opponent's noble phantasm. And that's pretty common. Most servants don't have an easy way of surviving an enemy's noble phantasm. But Tesla does. Most servants could never kill Tesla because Tesla has an EX rank defense noble phantasm. Off memory, I don't think Napoleon had anything defensive in his kit. But I'm not gonna lie, I have not read Napoleon's character material book in a very long time. I have read it, but I only ever read it once, so I don't have it memorized by any means. Yeah, I would say Arash and Emiya are two things I can think of that could keep up with Tesla. Like, they're no joke, because Emiya just has such variety with his noble phantasms. You know, Emiya's got some real weaknesses too, especially with having to cast and load blade works and stuff. But he's got the broken noble phantasms and just so much variety, and his stats kind of suck, but he's pretty skilled and everything. So I think, but still, Emiya would get wrecked by Tesla. Like, he'd just get completely wiped out by Tesla's NP. You have no way of dealing with it. And Tesla could block unlimited blade works very easily. And he could block Hunting and all that head on. He wouldn't have to deal with the dodgy bullshit because of his lightning field stuff. So yeah, I think it's Tesla. I think it's Tesla for Archer for sure. Robin is really good, and I will say Robin without plot armor can just gank the shit out of so many servants. Like, even servants that would beat him head on, he can just completely gank them with his NP and just kill them out of nowhere, and they have no idea what happened. Like if Robin has prep time and can set up traps and everything, Robin can gank the hell out of a lot of OP servants. Like, absolutely. He always loses because of plot armor. Like, if it wasn't for that other master getting involved, Nero would have died to Robin in like 2 seconds. But like, Robin is no joke, but he does need prep time. He's very weak to giant AoE bombs because he can just even if he's hiding and hidden and he's got traps everywhere, if they just like Gwen could just like nuke the whole area and doesn't even need to know where Robin is, right? There's a lot of problems like that. So Robin is good because he's stealthy, he's smart, he's got a really sneaky NP, and he's got some sabotage and all that. But he is very susceptible to a lot of nukes and things that have like presence detection, like in Kidu, and even assassins that if he can't find the assassin, he's going to have a bad time and stuff like that. So there definitely are gaps in his toolkit. I don't think he's as good as Tesla because Tesla is just so safe and it was overpowered in so many areas. But for real, if you had Robin fight every single servant that exists, 1v1, and he just had a moderate amount of prep time, like just moderate amount of prep time, nothing crazy, I think he would win more than 50% of his fights. Like, I think Robin is absolutely above average. Like, I think he's quite good. And then Arash is pretty great as well, because Arash is really powerful even without Stella. He's basically got Atalante's NP as just his own natural ability, and he's very tanky. Very fucking tanky. Literally survives an NP to the face, he's so tanky. And then he's immune to poison, so that's handy against some things out there, and he's just so skilled with the bow and everything. However, I would never put him up there with Tesla. He just doesn't have anything to deal with Tesla's. Like, he can't deal with that kind of OP stuff. He can keep up with them if he kills himself, but then you're dead. So it's not quite as good. So Arash is very good for what he is, and he's a surprisingly good archer just because he's so skilled. Like, he'd beat a lot of the other. Like, Arash would beat the shit out of Atalante. No offense to Atalante or anything. It's just if they fought 1v1, there's just there's no chance there. But I don't think he's like up there with like the big boys, right? He's just good. He's really, really good, but definitely not Tesla level. But most things that are Tesla level do have divinity, so that's kind of the shtick. Okay, best no divinity for Lancer. Let's see. It's Enkidu. I don't think I even have to think about this. There's just no competition. Enkidu is one of the strongest servants, period. And then anything that could even remotely keep up with him is obviously going to have divinity. I can't think of anything that's even in the ballpark, right? You got like things like Romulus and stuff like that. If someone can think of something, blurt it out. But off the top of my head, everything that comes to mind that's even in the ballpark, I still think they're weaker. But you got stuff like Romulus and whatnot, right? But that's all divinity. Everything I can think of that's really strong has divinity. Because Karna, Karna's super strong, but he's got divinity. You know, and Percival's great and everything, but he's no fucking Enkidu, not even close. Like, really not much is. I guess you could say Rongo Bongo doesn't technically have divinity, although she kind of does. It just builds up over time. But honestly, I don't think Rongo Bongo's on par with Enkidu at all. I mean, he could literally block her NP like it's nothing and just murder her with all of his, you know, variety of Noble Phantasms, which technically aren't Noble Phantasms. Scath is really good lore-wise, I will say, and she does not have divinity. But there's no world where she's as good as Enkidu. I think that's the best competition though. That's the best one I can think of. Because there's so many reasons why I think she's absolutely not on par with Enkidu. So one, Enkidu has basically unlimited mana, and all of his Noble Phantasms, which technically aren't Noble Phantasms, but we're going to call them Noble Phantasms for just brevity's sake. They don't take any mana to create, and they have as much variety as all the variety you see in Gate of Babylon. So all those crazy effects Gil has, all the like teleporting swords and mana draining abilities and just, you know, ice spawning, portal opening, weird bullshit. Enkidu can match all of that with his clay, and he has an advantage that things that counter Noble Phantasms and stuff don't work on his things, so they're not technically Noble Phantasms and they're not made out of mana. So that's a huge advantage. He has just so much variety, and he's like crazy. Like Gil has Original Sin, right? That means Enkidu has something that he can make out of clay that's equally powerful as that. That's really dangerous. And then obviously he has his tree, which could easily block Scath's NP. And that's a problem with Scath's NP. It doesn't work like Ku's. Ku's NP would not be blocked by the tree, because the tree is like a brute force kind of defense, where that's not going to work with the causality thing. Scath's NP doesn't have the causality thing. It just stuns the person in place, and it can brute force hit them really hard. But that won't work on the tree at all. Also, Enkidu could probably just survive it because he's got such a high endurance stat if he wants to, and he's got a bunch of NPs that can defend against it. Also, Scath's anti-divinity stuff doesn't work on Enkidu, and it doesn't work on, you know, a lot of dangerous stuff out there. Enkidu just has so much more variety than she does. He can nuke harder than she can, and he easily, like, his NP does way more damage than hers does. I don't mean gameplay-wise, I mean lore-wise. I think there's a bunch of other NPs that have all kinds of scary effects. So his destructive power is much higher than Scath's. His diversity is much higher than Scath's. Even though Scath has a lot of diversity with her runes and her gate and everything, she's a very good servant, right? You know, her runes are awesome, but like Enkidu just has so much more variety with his clay. And then also you can't gank Enkidu because he has presence detection of such a high rank because he's connected to the earth. He's like ungankable. Scath is absolutely gankable. A really strong assassin could absolutely sneak up on Scath and gank her. Like, absolutely. Now, she has better defenses against it than most because she has her runes and stuff, so she definitely has defenses to being ganked. And like Ku has runes that's like built into his armor that automatically activates if like an offensive NP attacks him. By the way, Time Moon forgot about that, but that is a thing. So Scath surely has that as well. So she is very good at defense, but Enkidu's got the tree, he's got the presence detection, he's got the ridiculously high endurance stat, and he can also be ridiculously fast. He can warp the earth and have the earth, you know, rise up to defend him. So he's got better offense, he has better defense, he's faster than her, he has more variety than her. I think he wins at everything. I can't think of anything that Scath is better at other than like the weirdness that is her gate, I guess. But there's so much weirdness with his clay that I think Enkidu is just better at everything. And Scath needs mana, Enkidu doesn't need mana. Like he's just better. Now Scath's very good, like no joke, for non-divinity stuff. If it wasn't for Enkidu, I would probably pick Scath as the best lancer without divinity. Because there's other good lancers like Ku and Proto-Ku and Karna and Romulus and stuff, but those all have divinity. But yeah, I would say she's second. I would actually say though, I think Extra Vlad's up there. Extra Vlad's a pretty scary servant. He's quite tanky. He's actually very tanky. He's immune to most mental interference nonsense. There's like no charming him or fearing him or any of that nonsense. He's got good armor lore-wise. He's got good stat lore-wise. His NP can gank the hell out of people. And again, he's just immune to a lot of like mental shenanigans, which a lot of servants employ. And if I remember correctly, he's decent, got decent stats and stuff. I think he's really slow. I think he's like strong and tanky, and he's got like good mana, but I think he's slow. But he can make up for that with his NP and everything. Lee's good, but I wouldn't put him up there with like. He's one of those like Kojiro type people. He's better than Kojiro, I have to say, because he's a proper servant and has a proper NP. But he's really weak to like range stuff, and he's really weak to being ganked. He's really weak to like AoE nukes. But in a melee fight, he's unbelievably scary. Like, absolutely. But he doesn't have a lot of stuff to deal with, a lot of the crazy bullshit out there. Where, like, Enkidu does. Enkidu absolutely can defend against ganks and giant nuke NPs and ranged attacks and AoE bombs and stuff like that. Lee will beat the living shit out of you in a melee fight, though. I actually think most servants would get destroyed by Lee in a melee fight. And he can gank people. He absolutely can gank people, so... Lee is quite scary, but I would not put him up there with, like, the best of the best. Okay, what else we got? We got Ryder. Why I'm talking by all this, like... I should be doing this generic gameplay, right? Because we're in Orleans, and Orleans is really boring. Alright, so best Ryder without divinity. Does Pin's sister have divinity? We don't know her full toolkit, but I'm not even sure I can consider her as one of the best ones. I just want to know, does she have divinity? Because she's related to Ares, isn't she? So she probably does. So she's, okay, so she's off the table. Pale Rider, I guess doesn't have divinity? The thing is, the full extent of his abilities aren't known yet. So that's pretty difficult to rate. Okay, hold on, let's think. What do we got out there? So Iskandar's got divinity. Mev does not have divinity, but lore-wise, Mev is not, like, she's good, but she's not that big of a deal, really. Well, we'll see. What else do we got? So we have Pale Rider, which is kind of bullshit, but we have Pale Rider. We've got Rider Kentucky. We've got... she's good, but I don't think she's going to be in the running. We'll see. There's Ivan. Now, Ivan would be his non-Lost Belt version, and I do have to stress, Ivan is much weaker when he's not the Lost Belt 1 version. Like, he's much weaker. But he's still pretty nuts. He still has some really powerful defense and offense. Honestly, I need to look at his character material book again. I might do that real quick right now, because I need to skim over some of what he's got here. Because it's been a while. I'm kind of leaning towards Ivan, though. Let's see. So he's got his other NP. I don't even remember what it does. I think his other NP summons the secret police guys, and I think that's what they do, and they can, like, gank people. That's pretty good, but it's not amazing. A lot of stuff can just beat the shit out of them. But it's okay. I think he can't be charmed and shit. Let me see. Okay, they have some of his abilities they have not detailed very well, honestly, and I'm not even sure what some of these do. Yeah, a lot of it, dude, what the fuck? His character material reminds me a lot of Anastasia's, where they're not going into super detail here. Huh. There's a lot of text for him, though. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to... I don't want to just, like, be boring and sit here and read. I'd have to read quite a lot of stuff there to go through that. I mean, he's good. It's hard to say. Oh, God, there's George. Jesus Christ. George is so scary lore-wise. I don't think he has divinity. Let me double-check on that. He does not. George is nuts. He's got a super strong defensive NP. He's got multiple powerful offensive NPs. He's double immune to charm. I think George is absolutely up there. I mean, he can just tank so much stuff. Completely immune to, like, mental interference. Got super high magic resist. He can just turn his enemy into a dragon and get this massive nuke that murders dragons, right? Like, and he's just so tanky. So I think George is absolutely up there. Does Odysseus have a character material book? I don't think he does. Off memory, what is in his bio, his NP is really strong, but his personal skills are kind of eh. And his stats are kind of eh. But I think his NP is really good off memory, but I think it takes time to build up or something. George has divinity in the original match, just not in FGO. Okay, well, rip George. That makes sense, though. He probably, because he's kind of worshipped the same way Martha is, that's probably why. It's just FGO forgetting about it. They missed divinity in a lot of the old units like that. Feels bad. Rip. Honestly, I was leaning towards George there. Right now, I'm thinking it's Ivan then. Even though I need to, like, really go through his character material book to be sure. But I'm gonna guess it's Ivan. Because, yeah, everybody else has... Actually, Ryoma... Oh, no, Ryoma has divinity. Fuck, Ryomo's nuts. Fucking frog lady, she is so strong, it's crazy. But yeah, they have divinity technically, so they don't count either. Feels bad. All this stuff that I'm like, oh, this might be, you know, really OP. It's like, nope, they have divinity. Well, right now, I would say Ivan, Odysseus, or maybe Uchi. Probably Ivan, but I'd have to... I don't remember a lot of the writer's toolkits well enough. I'd have to, like, go really scour through the material that's out there. I'm not really confident in that. But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if it's Ivan, but yeah, I'm iffy on that one. What do I need to bring here? I guess Stheno, because it's the Stheno account. There's probably dragons here. And we counterclass a bit, that's fine. Alright, we want George, NP gain. We want bond gain, and we want Uchi, because Guadia. And then who do we need to like unlock skills for down the road? Darius, who do we need bond with just like to get their stuff? I don't know, I haven't decided who we're leveling yet. I'll just bring Robin, I guess, to be safe. Okay, we actually have team cost now, so that's nice. Fuck, not enough for that though. I need to do account management, but I can do that later. Oh yeah, Drake is pretty strong too, to be honest, but just from what little I know of Ivan, I don't think Drake is on par with Ivan at all. But Drake is no joke. Alright, let's go caster. That is almost impossible because casters are so hard to quantify. Like, they have such weird abilities. I have no fucking idea with that one. Off the top of my head, maybe Merlin, because I don't think Merlin has divinity, and he's pretty top of the line. What else is there? Caster is no joke. No, he has divinity. What am I saying? They haven't really detailed regular Solomon because we only have really information about his grand version and like Guadia stuff, so it's really hard to quantify Solomon, and he might have divinity. Medea is, if Medea's not holding back, she really is powerful. FGO really is misleading. Medea really, she would whoop a lot. I'm looking through the casters. She would absolutely whoop most of their asses. She could out-nuke them. She has way more knowledge of all the different fields of magic. She could de-spell a lot of like bounded fields and shit like that. And she can teleport and all this bullshit. She has really powerful barriers and stuff. Yeah, most of the other casters, I think she could just nuke the shit out of them. Yeah, really, I think without divinity, obviously some of the ones with divinity could beat the shit out of her, but I'm leaning towards Merlin though, just because Merlin has such knowledge and whatnot, and but yeah, Merlin, Medea, Clown Boy too. Clown Boy's scary as fuck, man. If we're talking no divinity, his traps will just straight murder most people, and he's got like something that like attacks their like spiritual core directly. That's really hard to defend against. Let's see, what else is there? Babbage is really good. Babbage really is good, but I don't think he's as good as Clown Boy or Medea. Definitely not Nursery Rhyme, no offense. Geronimo's pretty good, but I don't think he's better than Medea. Caster Gill obviously has divinity. And like, Thick Caster and everything, I think she'd get wrecked by Medea, honestly. Yeah, I think it's, well, kind of a VC Brawn if a VC Brawn can use Adam. Literally none of the other casters are keeping up with that. Adam is just bullshit. Like, Adam is so fucking OP. But it does take a long time for him to be able to create it. So, Gilius is really strong, but I don't think he's as strong as Medea. I really don't. I would say in average scenario, I'd say Merlin or Medea, but if you are given time, I think it's a VC Brawn. I don't think, I mean, good lord, a VC Brawn would destroy everybody. Like, Adam is busted. Well, Demon's like a one-trick pony. He has to contrive his plans and everything to make sure he's fighting at very gimmicky moments because he's an absolute one-trick pony. He's not half as strong as he appears. Also, without the help of Lost Belt nonsense, he's not as strong either. For a human, though, he's very powerful, for sure. But, you know, I'm really leaning towards Medea, Merlin, or a VC Brawn, because, yeah, VC Brawn is no joke. Okay, Assassin is a weird one because so many Assassins have like OP ganks and whoever ganks first wins. And most of them don't have divinity. There's like fuck all divinity amongst assassins. So for Gramps, we would have to rate him as his non-grand version. If it was his grand version, it'd probably be him. I think Cleopatra has divinity, which is unfortunate because she's very powerful. So it's unfortunate that she gets taken off the table. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Right, you know, King of Sun's up there. I think Izo's up there, Lee's up there. Those are the three that really come to mind right now. Yu's pretty good too, lore-wise. She might not be the best gameplay-wise, but lore-wise, she's pretty scary. It's definitely not Jack. Jack fucking sucks, lore-wise. I would say Lee, because old Lee's pretty wild. But I would say old Lee, Gramps, or Scat's not bad either. Her assassin self's, you know, pretty similar to her Lancer self, actually. That's tough. I'm leaning towards Gramps, but I don't know. His stealth fucking sucks, and he's really susceptible to like giant nukes and stuff like Bolg and things like that. And he's kind of wonky still. Oh yeah, wait a minute. We got the stuff outside of FGO too. I don't know. Fate Strange Fakazon hasn't been detailed yet, but right now he's pretty busted. And depending on, we don't know his Noble Phantasm yet though, but we know his skills, and his skills are nuts. Shiki wouldn't be in the running even if she did count. She's good, but she's no King Hassan by any means. Yeah, I don't know. Fate Strange Fake Hassan, I think, is he's up there. Even though we literally don't know his NP, he is nuts. But I guess we won't rate him just because we don't know yet. I'm kind of, I don't know, Gramps or Lee or you. I say Gramps, Lee, or you. That's really hard to pick between those. And I need to like get gameplay in here. Yeah, he has Presence Concealment EX, which is just completely broken. When he's in combat, he goes to Presence Concealment 8+, which is better than most assassins have when they're not in combat, which is just bullshit. Zealot's okay, but she has some glaring weaknesses in her toolkit. She's definitely not as good as like Gramps and stuff, like no way. She is good though, like she really is good. So Berserker, Herc obviously has divinity, so he's out. Kentoki has divinity, so he's out. What's out there for Berserker? Obviously there's like Humbaba, but we know so little about Humbaba, and actually he's probably gonna have divinity with those weird ass circumstances. I think Q-Walter's out, Penta's out. Beowulf is no joke. Beowulf, he's got a lot of different NPs, very tanky. Then his main NP is nuts. And Big So Tanky is a big boon. Morgan's really good because she's the equal of either that. Obviously, she's way stronger in the Lost Belt, so she's weaker normally. But her normal self just isn't detailed enough. It's really hard to rate her. But she's said to be every bit the equal to Merlin, so that's very powerful. So I think, although the thing is, her normal class probably isn't even Berserker, for God's sake. It's probably Caster or Ruler or whatever. So I feel like we can't really rate Morgan just because it's really hard to know what she would be like in a normal context. But we know she's on par with Merlin, and that alone I think puts her up there. But it's kind of an honorable mention though, just because she's so awkward. I'm for no divinity, I'm really leaning towards Beowulf, unless I'm forgetting something. Galatea does not have divinity, but she doesn't have a character material book yet, and so I'm really unsure about her. And honestly, Nightingale is no joke. Hijikata is not that good, to be honest, lore-wise. He's great gameplay-wise, but I'm not, seriously, he kind of sucks lore-wise. His NP is super low rank. He's kind of only good when he gets like worked up into a frenzy. His stats aren't really that great. He does have some decent skills though. He gets like, when he gets into a real fight, his stats do go up a lot. Like he's no joke. Berserker Jack is pretty damn scary. His From Hell thing is pretty nutso actually. That would easily kill most opponents. And also it's hard to kill Berserker Jack. He can be pretty stealthy and ethereal. So he's actually, he has a better way of dealing with like getting ganked and dealing with nukes than most things. So yeah, actually Berserker Jack's a pretty fair pick because you know he has kind of a poor showing, but that's just because he lost his main NP. That's not typical. But Beowulf's pretty nuts too. I mean, he's got Harunting and whatever the fuck his other NP is called, and then Grendel Buster, and he's so super tanky and quite skilled as well. I feel like we're missing some stuff. Mori's no joke too, actually. Mori's NP. The problem with Mori's NP, Mori is really, he's very, very tanky, so he can survive some NPs and stuff, but he doesn't have a way of dealing with like range stuff and ganks or like Excalibur, right? He's got to get close. If he gets close, he can, you know, get through pretty much any defense ever, and that's really good, but he just doesn't have any answers to a lot of the wonky shit out there, where some of the other servants do. He is super immune to charm, though. He's too crazy to be charmed or controlled, essentially. Mori basically has unlimited mana, though, and he doesn't even need his master. And he can cut. Oh, I forgot. How did I forget? I'm a Mori fan. What's wrong with me? Mori can come back to life if he gets killed. Excuse me. Yeah, he can get Excalibur and like come back to life. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Mori pretty good in that department. Kind of bullshit that he doesn't have guts in gameplay. Yeah, he's immune to the problem with Mori though is he's just really weak to you know, range stuff and like ganking and that kind of thing. Well, I guess he's not that weak to ganking, because if like Curse Arm ganked him, he would just come back to life. So I guess he actually is pretty safe against ganking stuff. But he can't, if he's killed multiple times, he can't keep coming back. It takes a lot of mana for him to resurrect. And he'll basically drain all of the mana from the environment to resurrect. So if he died again, he couldn't resurrect again. And I think if his body is just at 100% destroyed, I don't think he can resurrect. That's pretty difficult to do though, even with a lot of powerful nuke NPs, because he does have like really powerful armor, and I think he's got a really high endurance stat, and he's got like a tanky skill and stuff like that. So normally he'll be able to resurrect, but if he's killed like twice in a row, he's done. If you kill him twice in a row, there's really no coming back. But yeah, I know it's bullshit that he doesn't have guts. I have no idea why they didn't give him guts. Still, though, I'm not as good as Mori is, because he does have a very scary NP that can gank things. He can punch up, right? He can kill things that are surprisingly powerful because of his NP. And, you know, he has a good way of getting it off, because he does have the ability to come back to life, and he does have the armor, and he doesn't, like, have mana issues at all. But I don't know, he just doesn't have anything to deal with like crazy bullshit. But he's definitely good. I definitely put him up there for not having divinity. But Beowulf, I just think, you know, Grindlebuster is so strong. His other two NPs give him such variety. He's got a lot of answers for a lot of different scenarios. And Beowulf is also really tanky. I don't know, man. Mori's up there. I don't know. It's a tough one for Berserker. What else is there? There's Asterios. Asterios is scary as fuck. And Lu Bu, oh my god, Lu Bu might be the one, actually. He's kind of forgettable gameplay-wise, but lore-wise, he has some of the best stats we've ever seen in Fate, period. He's got a crazy powerful NP with quite a bit of variety. He's actually extremely tanky. He's completely immune to charms and that kind of stuff. He is a little bit susceptible to getting nuked, but he can just nuke them before he gets nuked. I think his biggest weakness is just being ganked, where like Mori isn't going to get ganked by an assassin, where Lu Bu could be. But seriously, Lu Bu has some of the highest stats we've like ever seen. You know, it's hard to say, but I think, oh, Karna's armor, excuse me. Yeah, he could probably get through Karna's armor. Because it says it nullifies any defense, really. So I think it would just nullify Karna's armor. So yeah, he would definitely be able to wreck Karna. The thing is, Karna would just blast the shit out of him with all of his NPs and stuff. Now, if Karna had let his guard down, Karna could get ganked by Mori, right? But if Karna's being careful and being perceptive, I would say Karna would win, just because Karna can do all of his giant nuke NPs and kill him Mori twice in a row, and that's that. And you got laser eyes and all that nonsense. I don't know what would happen with God Hand, because technically God Hand is would nullify Boneless Man, because Boneless Man's rank is too low. But if Boneless Man nullifies God Hand, it's not working to nullify. Like it's a paradox. Ultimately, the writer, I think, could say whatever they wanted. The writer could just bullshit it and have it be the result whatever they want. If I was going to say there's no plot armor, what I think is fair is I think God Hand would win, because God Hand is the higher rank. So they technically nullify each other, and so it doesn't make any sense. But if you have to beat the paradox, I would say God Hand wins because it's the higher rank. I just think that's fair. I have no idea what they would. Again, I think it's at the mercy of the writer, though. The writer could just like horseshit whatever they wanted. But yeah, I don't know how I forgot that Mori can resurrect. Pretty big deal. Like kind of a dumb thing to forget there. But I don't know. I can't. It's hard to pick. What Saber Nero? Are you still here? What did you pick for best Berserker without divinity? I definitely think Lu Bu, though, is up there. I think Lu Bu's a real contender. He's just, like, my god, such high stats, can completely overpower you. His NP will just murder most things. He's got some nice stuff going on there. Lancelot's good, a lot of variety, but he's so unreliable because you don't know what items you're going to have to turn into NPs. And Lancelot's extremely weak to, like, giant nukes and things like that. But he's very fast, very skilled, very tanky, and you can have so much variety. He's also got super good luck and stuff like that. Lancelot's up there, but I don't think he's up there with Lu Bu, to be honest. Or even Mori and Beowulf. They have better options, and they're more, like, reliable. But Lancelot really is scary because he's just so skilled. And, Lancelot, I would say, is potentially the best Berserker, but it's dependent on when he's summoned and what he can grab and turn into weapons and stuff, right? So it kind of depends. You know, you give him a nuclear sub, then of course he's going to be the strongest, but yeah, it just depends. The more modern the era, the better he's going to be, I would say. Although you could be summoned in the modern era and be summoned in the boonies, and you have access to like a shotgun and that's it, right? That's not the best. Darius is good. Darius is good. Most servants out there could absolutely not deal with Darius's NP. And he also has good stats. He's also very tanky. Either Mori, Lancelot, Beowulf, or Darius. We seem to have pretty similar minds there. At first, I was really discounting Mori, but now that I'm remembering Mori's kit, I think Mori really is up there. But I don't know, man. Lu Bu, dude. Oh god, though, I just remembered. Beowulf has an ability. He's like the only servant that can do this. He can temporarily be he becomes his true self, where he's not restricted by the class container, which is absurd, right? So that's pretty scary. So he can temporarily get stats that are just completely through the roof and are way beyond what a servant should be able to do. So that's pretty wild. And he's also got the thing where things like instinct don't work on him. And he's got 3 noble phantasms with very different abilities, so he has a lot of variety, and he's very tanky. So yeah, Beowulf's a pretty legit choice. How does that work? I don't know how that works. I could not tell you how the Grail or whatever summons him is capable of doing that. But I guess it's just because of his legend and his place and what he accomplished and stuff. I don't know, but for somehow he's able to access his true power temporarily. And yeah, it's pretty bullshit. You know, punch someone into the moon, so... Yeah, I'm not really sure how Horsebendo works in a normal scenario. Oh hey, we got an actual boss here. Too bad I have like a whatever the fuck team. Hi Sanson, how you doing? I remember this when I first saw Sanson. He was like the first FGO original character that really piqued my interest. I wish I'd taken more time to build up my NP here. Just throw all the charms out. See if we can get our NP and do like no damage. I wanted Sanson animation updates so bad. I want Billy, Sanson. So many of my absolute favorite characters don't have animation updates. I don't know why I didn't cast this a billion turns ago. I'm very distracted with what we're talking about lore-wise. More charms. Okay, we get our NP now. We brought Antoinette against Sanson. Whoops. Okay, let's move on. I'm pretty undecided with Berserker. That's a really hard one. You know, a lot of times you don't have a clear-cut best. That's the thing. It's rare. It's very rare you have stuff like in Kidu. Did we cover everything? You know, we did Saber, Archer, Lancer. Yeah, we covered all the standard stuff. And I think the extra classes aren't worth doing. Most of them have Divinity or there's weird bullshit. That's so much nonsense. And then you have stuff like Watcher where there's only one Watcher, right? Maybe we do Ruler just because there's so many Rulers. Actually, Mothman I don't think is the strongest at all. Again, Lost Belt stuff. People are really bad about that. They forget about all the Lost Belt specific stuff. I actually might be Joan of Arc. She's bullshit. She is one of the safest servants that ever existed. She has magic resist EX. She's like, so many things just can't even affect her. Like, she can face tank entire NPs and not even give a fuck. Mothman is no joke, though. Ruler Artoria is no joke, too, but that's almost a joke servant. You have Quetz. I don't know. Ruler's fucked up. They're also abnormal and weird. It's really hard to say which one's best. Like, how do you quantify Sherlock's abilities, right? They're so bizarre. But Joan of Arc is pretty scary. She can basically kill anyone with her NP, but that's a double down. But she can literally kill anyone with that, and she can defend against almost anything with her other NP. And then she's completely immune to hexes and curses and anything magic related, and like she's pretty bullshit. Like Ruler's just weird. There's just so much wonky bullshit with Rulers. Oh yeah, and you've got other Charlemagne, Carl. Does he have a character material book? If he has, I've never read it, so I have no idea. Like I know what his NP does, and that's it. So I have no fucking idea how strong he is. Oberyn is not. We don't know. Oberyn doesn't exist. We have Vortigern. We don't know anything about Ruler, actual Oberyn. So that's not quantifiable. But does Carl have a character material book? Because if so, I need to read it, because I don't think I ever did. Alright, well, time to go for another charm. Charm lock, by the way. Shame I don't have our Buster up. What is this turn? Amakusa needs a lot of prep time and basically, like the Grail to be really OP. Like his whole black hole thing would never be able to stop Joan of Arc's NP if it wasn't for the Grail. Like ultimately in a normal scenario, if you just summon Amakusa, he's gonna get destroyed. But in the right circumstance, he can be really powerful, but generally is not. The reason he was stronger in APOC was because of the Master situation and because of the Grail. A lot of the extra classes are just really hard. Their abilities are too all over the place. They're just so wacky. Although I will say Avenger's actually not very hard. Avenger's actually really easy because one, basically none of them have divinity. It's just Edmund. It's not even close. I think Edmund is one of the strongest servants like out there. I think he's one of the few like regular servants that can keep up with Gilgamesh and stuff. He's busted. Yeah, it's just Edmund. He also can come back to life. He is like at Dragon Ball Z speed where he's like teleporting and disappearing everywhere. You can shoot energy blasts everywhere that like burn your soul. So they actually do like they kill so many things that aren't supposed to be killable. He can stop like that dead ancestor guy from reincarnating. It's ridiculous. He's got like no luck stats, so like luck checks don't even like apply to him apparently. He can escape anything, literally anything. It says not only can he escape any physical prison or trap, he can escape any conceptual trap, right? So he's like ungankable. He's way too fast. He can just nuke the hell out of you. He comes back to life if he dies. If you read his determination of steel, it makes him completely immune to charm, and it gives him another skill that Bedivere has that also makes him immune to charm. So he's like ultra, oh my god, immune to charm. He is so bullshit. He's also quite smart and tactical. You might not think that of him, but he actually absolutely is. He's got so many NPs. Edmund is just busted. I think he's one of the strongest servants out there. Like, he's just so fucking strong. He's top 5 for like regular servants, in my opinion. So yeah, easy Edmund on that one. There are other Avengers that are really strong, like Jolter's really strong, absolutely. Lobo's really strong, stuff like that. Like most of the Avengers are quite powerful actually, but Edmund is just nuts. Edmund's absolutely nuts. But the only Avenger that's kind of weak is Angra, really. Feels bad. Original Avenger, by the way. Can I do 9k here? I would think so. Sansa's about to NP someone though if I don't get him here. Watch Lancelot just body somebody here. Antonio's pretty decent, but he's no Edmund, not even close. He's a decent servant. He's a solid servant, but nothing exceptional. And in certain circumstances, he's actually kind of weak. He's very reliant on his Mystic Code. But thankfully, he pretty much has his Mystic Code 24/7, so. If that skill was maxed, I could NP again. I think Stheno is going to be so good, dude. When we get her skills maxed, there's going to be so much charming and buffing and buff removal and defense down. I think it's going to be really good. Especially when we're fighting Riders. When we're fighting Riders, I think she's going to do great. Hey, Arjuna, what's up? I would say we could do an account review, but it's already really late, and because I said I wasn't going to do it today, I didn't download it. I was like, oh yeah, Arjuna told me I wouldn't be here for the stream today, so I won't download the pictures yet. I'll do that tomorrow, but then you're here, so god damn it. Yeah, I have been streaming for a good while. They got me talking about lore, Arjuna. That's always... When people get me talking about who can beat who and what ability and whatnot, that's always when we go forever, so... Technically, I've only been streaming for 2 hours. Is uptime broken right now? But it's because I restarted the stream to separate the VOD. Huh. Is Moobot dead right now? That happens every once. No, Moobot's not dead, it's just updates messed up. I'll have to make sure the command's not... That's weird. Why is uptime broken? That's strange. How about which of the revealed beasts is the strongest? Tiamat. It's not even close. She's so busted. Basically, all the other beasts can't really even hurt her because they're from Earth's history, and their stuff will just do so much less damage to her. And the only way she would lose the other beasts is if she fought them on like the moon or something. But if you fight on Earth, it's Tiamat by so much. A lot of people don't realize the Tiamat you ultimately fight is so much weaker than normal, and she's still OP as fuck. But she's way weaker because she's been nerfed by King Asan, and then she's not on Earth. And when she's not on Earth, she's way weakened, but she's still unbelievably strong. But when she's on Earth, she's like untouchable. She's like one of those... She literally has like the strength of a Titan. She's unbelievably tanky, and like every Noble Phantasm ever does like no damage to her. She basically just nullifies most stuff from human history. You know, obviously she has like unlimited minions. She can corrupt most things. They actually haven't detailed her main NP very well. It's not really clear what it does. But she's basically unkillable on Earth, honestly. Like, it's just, she's blessed by the Earth and all that nonsense. So yeah, she's pretty bullshit. Most of the beasts just could not kill her. There's just no way. Now, if she's not on Earth, though, then the other beasts have a chance. And if they're not on Earth, right now I'm kind of leaning towards Guadia. The problem with Guadia, though, is he needs so much prep time. If he doesn't have prep time, he's got some real problems. Also, 666 is just so vaguely defined right now. We don't really know what he does at all. And then Kiara and Kama aren't really that strong, to be honest. I mean, they're strong, but they're pretty far behind the other ones, in my opinion. But yeah, it's Tiamat. I just say it's Tiamat. But they'll probably make B7 bullshit OP, but we'll see. But it's very fitting that Tiamat is the strongest because she's one of the oldest things in human history, period. She's a primordial deity, not like just a regular deity. So it just makes sense that she is what she is. And Primate Murderer is mostly good at killing humans. I'm sure Primate Murderer is still really strong and everything, but I bet you if you ask Natsu, I am so sure that that Natsu would say that against humans it's like the strongest thing ever, but if it's fighting Tiamat or whatever, I think it just get raffle stomped. I think when it comes to the other, like, and I think it's like authority would get trumps and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's another thing. Tiamat has like super broken authority. Yeah, I don't think when it's fighting other super mega things that aren't humans, I don't think it would be that great. I don't think it's terrible, but I doubt it would be. It's not super detailed, but I doubt it would be super OP. He couldn't beat a single zoomer. Context, say context. Okay, well, we didn't really get much done in Orleans, but we kind of had to do that side thing to unlock everything. So I think I'm gonna wrap up now. It's getting really late. But we'll try to get more done on this account soon. But thank you guys for hanging out and talking about stupid lore shit. The moral of the story today is Enkidu is really busted and has like unlimited mana and too many options and super flexible stats and then an incredibly good defensive NP and offensive NPs. It's nonsense. Enkidu's strong play. He built different. And he's not cocky like Enkidu. Oh shit, Cairo's doing Lost Alt 5 stuff. That's the good one. Well, I think he's doing 5 too. We gotta go raid him. Alright boys, go get him. And I'm gonna go relax. I might not stream tomorrow because I kind of want to do video stuff. I'm really behind on video stuff, and I kind of want to fix like that epic NP video and all kinds of other things. So maybe no stream tomorrow, but we'll see. But peace out.